Hello everyone, I'm Nikita. In this video, we are going to take a look on how to do the AWS application load balancer. Alright, so let's start with our first basic setup, that is going to be the VPC. So this is my AWS console. Go to the search bar, type VPC and hit enter. Click on create VPC. As per now, our concern is to create VPC, so select VPC only. We are going to name it as test VPC, and then here in IP range, it is actually user defined. You can change it however you want according to your wish. So I'm going to keep it as 192.168.0.0/24. Tenancy is default. Tax also remains the same. I'm not going to change anything here. And then click on create VPC. So you can see here that our VPC has been created. Then the next step would be to create the internet gateways. Here, after creating internet gateway, we have to associate it with our VPC. Go to the internet gateway and click on create internet gateway. We are going to name it as test IGW. Tax remains the same, and then create internet gateway. Now internet gateway has been created, but still it has not been attached to the VPC. So go and click to attach on VPC, and here select the VPC which you have created earlier. Then attach internet gateway. You can see here that our internet gateway has been created as well as attached to our VPC. So next we have to create is subnets. Here I'm going to create two subnets, two public subnets, both in different availability zone. Go and click on create internet gateway. Select the VPC which we created earlier, and here I'm going to name it as sub 1. Since my availability zone is Singapore, here I'm going to choose 1A for the subnet 1, and IP range is 192.168.0.0/26. Then add new subnet. Then click on I'm gonna name it as sub 2. Here I'll choose the availability zone as 1B, and then the IP range I'm giving as 192.168.0.64/26, and then click on create subnet. So subnet has been created. Now we need to create route tables so that these public subnets can have access to the internet, because the subnets and internet are still not connected with each other. For that we need a route table. So go and click on create route table. I'm gonna name it as test RT. RT is for the abbreviation of route table. And then select the VPC which you have created earlier. Tax remains the same here as well, and then click on create a route table. Now you can see that the route table has been created. Now even though route table has been created, subnets are not associated to this route table. So first go to the subnet associations, click on edit subnet association, then select both the subnets which you have created and then save association. So you can see that it has been associated. Then go to the routes. To give access to the internet, we have to allow the traffic. So go to edit routes. Here click on add route. Why 0.0.0.0/0 is because we can have access from anywhere. Now choose internet gateway. Then you can see that it is showing the internet gateway which we have created earlier. Click on that and then save changes. You can see we have now allowed internet access to the route table, then associated the subnets to the route table. Now we have to create instances. For that, go to the search bar and type EC2, hit enter. You can see here I don't have any instances here. So go and click on launch instance. I'm gonna name it as Linux 1 and the platform would be Amazon Linux. Instance type I'm going with T2 micro, which is free tier, and then we have to create a key pair for this. So click on create new key pair and I'm naming as test KP, then create key pair. Documents, save. Now you can see that it's showing the key pair which we created earlier. Here the next would be the internet settings. We have to edit it now. So select the VPC which you have created earlier and the subnet. Automatically it shows the subnets under that VPC. So the first subnet I'm choosing for the first instance and enable the auto assign IP. Now here we have to create a security group. I'm gonna name it as test SG. To have the internet access, we have to allow HTTP. Since we are accessing through web server, so I'm gonna add a rule which allows HTTP. Here I'm going to select HTTP, which the port range is 80, and then from anywhere. Here general purpose GP2, and then we have to go to next additional advanced details. Scroll down. Here in user data, this is basically a script that will run when the instance launches. I do have a script here. I'm gonna copy this and paste it here. This script basically is gonna install web server so that we can host web pages, and then we are gonna create a simple HTML page or index.html that says hello world, and then it's going to give the host name of this particular machine. So After putting your user data script, go and click on launch instance. Okay, you can see that it has been successfully created. Next, we have to create the second instance. Go and click on launch instance. We are going to name it as Linux 2. Platform would be Linux. Then same T2 micro. Here you select the key pair which we created earlier. Then edit the networks. Select the VPC you created earlier, and here select the subnet 2 because both instances are in different availability zone. Enable the auto assign IP. Here select the existing group, that is which we created earlier, test SG. Make it as GP2. In advanced details, scroll down and paste the earlier script and launch instance. So you can see that both the instances are still running. I'll come back once both the instances are ready. Okay, now our both EC2 instances are ready. So select the EC2 instance 1, then don't click on open address. It will directly redirect into the HTTPS, a secure connection which we have not added into our security group. It just goes on and on and on and just gives nothing. So go back and copy the IP address. Paste it here, hit enter. You can see that it shows hello world, this IP is this in this availability zone. So next we'll check about the instance 2. Go and copy the public IP address, paste it here, hit enter. Okay, you can see it's showing the same, but the IP address is different. Here it is 0.31 and you can see that here it is 0.119. So this shows that our instances are able to access the web page, but still we have to route traffic between these two instances. For that we have to create a load balancer. Before creating load balancer, let's create target groups. Go to EC2 instance, then scroll down. In load balancing, you can see target groups. Select on target groups. Target group is a logical units where we are going to club these EC2 instances so that later on elastic load balancer can point on this particular target groups. As you can see that I don't have any target group here. I'm gonna go and click on create target group. Since our concern is only about creating through EC2 instance, I'm gonna select instances and then name it with test tg, HTTP port, then IPv4. Here you have to select the VPC which you created earlier, and then not many changes here. Click on next. You can see here select both the instances, then include it to the port 80. Click on include as pending below, and then create target group. You can see here that the target type is instance, then the protocol is HTTP port 80, protocol version is HTTP 1, then under the VPC which we created with IP v4 with two targets. Here it's showing unused because still we have not created load balancer and attached these target group to that. So we are going to create a load balancer now. Go to the load balancer and create load balancer. Click on application load balancer. Create, then name it with test LB. Yes, I'm gonna keep it as internet facing, then IPv4, select the test VPC. Don't forget to select the VPC which you created, not the default one. Automatically when you select the VPC which you created, it shows the subnets associated to that. So I'm gonna select both the subnets. Then here we have to create a new security group which allows the HTTP protocol. Now I'm gonna select HTTP through anywhere. Outbound is all traffic. Then create security group. Security group name we have to give test SG 1. Description, just give it as allow access. Test VPC. Okay. Now create security group. You can see that it is being created. Remember, don't forget to remember the security group name. Now go back to load balancer, select, okay, refresh it, and yes, now I'll select this one. HTTP protocol. Here you have to select the target group which you created before creating a load balancer. That is, I have created test TG, so I'll click on that. Then okay, now look at the summary. Here it shows our load balancer which is internet facing with IPv4, and the security group is default with a new one we created in here, and then the network mapping is test VPC with both the subnets, and listener with HTTP protocol with target group. Now click on create load balancer. So it's still, the status is provisioning. It might take a while, so I'll come back once this is ready. Okay, you can see that the status is active. Before that, let's look into the details. Here the load balancer type is application, which is internet facing. Then the VPC which we selected with the two subnets. Here we just need the DNS, so copy the DNS, paste it here, and now you can see that it redirected into the first instance. Now if you refresh it, you can see that it is going to the second instance. Let me show you the first instance. This was the second instance, this was the first instance, and if I keep on refreshing, it's just keeps toggling between the two instances. From this we can see that the traffic is being routed between these two instances. So yeah, uh, this is how we are gonna set up the application load balancer. Basically, load balancer is responsible for sharing the requests between the EC2 instances which you have created under the VPC. Okay, that is it. Thank you so much for watching.